You are now entering the box. Welcome back inside the box. Today we are trying out something new that we're going to do here at OOT Box, where we do little reviews with different things we create, different videos we produce, graphics, websites, all of that shit. I'm here with Brendan and Josh, both involved in this particular job. What's going on, guys?
Nice to be here. Also, let's just put that out there. If anybody has any ideas for the names of this segment, while we're talking about the content.
I called it Creative Convo.
Yeah, okay.
Like
Creative Convo.
I'm open to suggestions, though.
Yeah, if there's anybody out there that thinks that they have a better one, we're here to listen.
Creative Convo for now. Till future notice. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and watch the 2 videos. I guess we'll just play them back to back, and then we'll pull them up and take a little peek at what's happening.
We're not going to set them up at all. Just here it is.
But we'll let them. They got to look at it, and then we're going to pull it up and dissect it.
Throwing it right at him.
And let's go, I guess.
Sounds good.
Testing some stuff out over here. Anyway, that was the first one we did. That was the initial job we were hired for Hewitt Farms.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we did another video for the actual company that was out there doing the field tiling.
Yeah.
They reached out, and we'll play that one here in a second. But the Hewitt Farms one, Josh, you took that initial call.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. He called and said, we're going to do some drone or some field tiling at the farm, and we're going to need some drone footage of it. We want to see the befores, the afters, and everything in the middle. And I thought, linoleum on a farm just sounds terrible. Why would you do that? And so
You
we
got
had
staff carpet involved in this?
We had-
My joke. I was going to say that.
we had to do some research and find out that it's a drainage situation that actually helps yield a lot better crops and more consistent stuff. So it was cool to know that we were going to be part of this like family farms experience, because his whole thing was that he wanted to pass it on to future generations.
So they
and-
could see it.
yeah, like
which
what
is
the farm was
interesting.
like before and then after.
And it's funny because like it's weird the different jobs that come to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we get the weird, like such random stuff.
Yeah, it's we work with a lot of commercial entities too, so it's strange to see a person, just an individual that has a family farm that wants to document that in some way and how
Yeah.
they got from
But
where
it's
they were to
commercial
us.
though.
Yeah,
I mean it's a
yeah.
business. You had just got your drone license for that, right?
Yeah, I think it was like only like a couple weeks before that. I think I got my drone license. Definitely, I think it's probably a good, like first job to really
Nothing to
do
run
that.
into
Yeah, it
hardly.
wasn't
Although I did
fields for
almost
the
hit those
most
power
part.
lines.
Yeah, that's one shot I think we should talk about is the one that you did, going under the harvester while the corn was going in. I think
I know it's a little bit easier for me to take risks since it's, don't got to worry about it getting mad at you.
I'm not quite that confident yet.
But yeah, that was weird though, man. Field tiling, such a weird concept. But man, the more like as soon as we were starting to do this, and I'd like mention to somebody, like seems like we're the only freaking people that don't know what the hell field tiling is.
Yeah, everybody was all over it. Yeah, yeah.
Let's see here.
Well, living in the middle of farmland America,
Yeah,
we probably should have been
apparently
more
we're just-
educated on that.
So we used mainly the Mavic 3 Pro on this, right?
I think.
Mavic
Yeah.
3 Pro. God, there's so many of them now. Because that one's we also bought that Mini in the middle of this and I took it out there for a test drive. But obviously the wind and stuff, it's not the most ideal one. So the Mavic 3 Pro was great. But we have some let's see here. Was this the
So this might be right after.
Yeah, so this is the corn getting dumped after they did all the harvesting. They dump it into this truck and then go back out. But let's see here, getting out of this thing. Again, this is our first time trying this, so we're figuring out what works best. We're actually wirelessly streaming HDMI, which is a crazy concept. How the hell do you wirelessly throw this stuff? So yeah, I was doing this, and I had the thought like, man, should I try to take this under there? And I'm not like, I could see it, but I'm not like super close to feel like the most confident in it. But I was just kind of like, fuck it, let's see what happens. And it was weird because I didn't realize how much debris was flying around. Like when I finally go under it in the view, I was like, oh man, there's a lot of debris.
Like
I hope
so much
nothing.
corn dust.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, like right there, I paused. So I was like, geez, look at all this debris. Is this going to mess it up? There we go, through it. That was pretty cool. I probably should have just done it again since I did it. And the other thing I wasn't sure is like, I was close enough to see it and like see flying under it, but I was like, man, is there like a wire?
Yeah.
Right.
Like from the tip of it where it's spewing out back to it. I was like, I wonder if there's a wire or something. So I was a little bit nervous
And
about
it even looks
that.
like there is. You can kind of see it on the top of the bar there, so they must have had it above it.
Yeah.
But it does exist, so that's definitely a good.
And then look at this.
That
This is
was
crazy
great.
looking down in there. Like all
Yeah.
the corn like falling out. I was surprised at how fast that thing filled up. I don't know anything about farming, but I was super surprised how fast the combine, is that what it's called? Combine filled up. That's pretty cool. How'd you feel about flying the being out there at the farm? And obviously you could see the drone, but
Right.
man, it's like big, like you're far away.
Such a large amount of space, basically, that they were doing the field tiling on, and I had the drone out, so far that you can't even see it half the time. I was really surprised with how well it did because it was very windy most of the days that we were out there. But the shots looked like really stable and steady and really nice.
Drone technology, man, is just so crazy. It still blows my mind every day. I remember getting the first Phantom. What did I buy first? The 3? I think it was the Phantom 3. It doesn't fold up small or nothing. And now it's hanging from the ceiling out there. but it's just so cool. Like, look at this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the shots are just, it's crazy that you used to have a helicopter.
Right.
Like a legit helicopter. Could you imagine how expensive this video would be if this was like 10 years ago or whatever?
Yeah, and it's like it's a different perspective too, to like think about how you want to frame the shots and all that stuff, because normally if you're working with a camera, you've got a lot more limitations and that type of stuff. But if you have a drone up there in the sky, you got to think about it differently and how you want to go about doing it.
Yeah, you're in like a 3D
right,
like world out there, 3-dimensional, up and down, all around.
And the shots that used to be incredibly complicated to get, like you said, with a standard camera
Right.
that would require a lot of equipment, suddenly you can do it fairly easily if you know how to fly and you have a good idea for it.
Yeah.
Almost making it look like it's on a rig or something like that, and getting some really interesting angles.
It's neat tracking vehicles. Like, this is super cool because, like, if anybody saw this shot when I was shooting this, I was like, man, nobody would. I don't even know if anyone would know what this is. Like, if you were just looking at the shot before this thing comes along and had no idea,
Right.
like that was the idea there. Is I was like, no one's even gonna know what this is, and then just the combine drives by all of a sudden.
It's almost like some shots are almost like surreal because it's like you said, it's just a perspective that normally you don't see. So if you're looking at it, it takes you a moment to kind of realize what it is.
Yeah, it's super neat. So right now, they wanted us to get the whole process. So this was me out there, and that was when they were harvesting all the corn. And there's kind of a 5-step?
Yeah. So, and actually, I'm glad you gave that interjection because I was going to give you guys props on being as flexible as you were. We knew when the project started that they wanted to do 5 different steps: the harvest of both the corn and the beans being 2, and then the before, the during, and the after of the tiling. But all of it happened so quickly. And, when they start harvesting, there's only so much time before it gets done.
Right.
And they move on to the next crop and do the same thing. So between the months that we were in of November, December, when it's cold, there's snow, there's stuff going on, it's starting to get to the edge of the season, being able to squeeze the time in to get out there, which was even a drive away from us. I feel like it was, 40 minutes or something along those lines to get out there.
It was about an hour, actually.
Yeah, and so finding the time.
And then I forgot the controller one time. I got out there and I was too anxious. I brought the other drone,
Nice.
the smaller one, and then I was like, oh my God, I freaking forgot the controller. So I brought the one for the small drone. That was the second time I went out there. I think you did 3 and I did 2 times.
Yeah, I think so.
So then we have the, but yeah, it was nice we were able to do that. But
Yeah.
again, the importance of having multiple people with drone licenses.
Right.
Yeah, and actually it wouldn't have worked out had we not had multiple people with the drone license, because there were times that you were flat out unavailable, that we needed to get this done. And had we not had a backup pilot, it would have made it almost impossible to get everything taken care of. So it worked out really
Now
well.
having two backup pilots,
There
which
you
is
go.
great. So can tackle anything.
I'm still saying Top Gun dogfighting in the back lot
Oh
for
my God.
prizes and money.
Let's see here. So this was when you were out there. Do you got any shots during this? Oh, this is the other corn. This was
This
corn
is
from the other.
soybean harvesting.
Oh,
I
this one
believe.
is the beans. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a similar situation.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Dropping it all in there.
Yeah, and if like kind of going through them, I think I got a bit more confident as I was, flying more and more out there. And there's
Well, yeah, it
shots
was
where
your first main
right.
shot. Dude. Building confidence with the drone is like very. I mean, I wrecked a drone into a tree one time. It was stuck up there. I had to get on top of my SUV. I drove up in the yard, parked my SUV under the branch,
Nice.
climbed up on top of it, and used like a stick to still hit it out of the tree. It was. I felt like an idiot because I was trying to fly it. It was for an auction, and I was trying to fly it across a field and then right through the person's front yard, like right up to the front of the house. But there was trees in the front yard, and I just was a little too high.
Right.
And you don't want to adjust because as soon as you like make an adjustment, it ruins the whole shot.
Right, yeah.
So you either bail on the shot or commit to it, and I just probably should have bailed.
Yeah, I think they kind of like start off like farther away, you know, just more wide shots, and as it goes on, it start getting a little. Yeah, like this one's a little bit closer to the combine, and I think there's one maybe that's like a kind of a top-down shot where you can see inside, you know, as the soybeans are going inside of the combine.
And from an amateur's perspective, somebody that doesn't have a drone license and that has never messed with one before I started with OOT Box, I will say that even though I'm somebody who enjoys playing video games, the actual piloting of a drone is nothing like that. It's not nearly as simple as I thought it would be. It is way more complex. And I also didn't realize all the like legal things that go into it. Like you mentioned, having a licensed drone pilot. A lot of people, you know, have drones, but they're flying them illegally or without the correct authorization.
So
and
many
I didn't realize
people.
how much stuff went into doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And that kind of blew me away when I found that out.
Well, a lot of people don't realize this, and I don't know if anything's changed. This was like right after I got my drone license, I read about this, but it was a real estate situation, and they had hired a realtor had hired a drone pilot to get footage of a house or something, and something happened, and the drone pilot like hurt somebody or something, and the drone pilot got fined like $5,000 or something.
Geez. Oh, wow.
The realtor, for using an unlicensed drone pilot, they didn't even know. They got fined like $50,000
Wow.
for hiring an unlicensed person. So the more liability fell on the
hiring.
Yeah,
not the hiree.
yeah.
Sure.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
It
wild.
seems backwards,
Right.
Right.
but I don't think. And again, I don't know if anything's changed.
Sure.
But
Well, that just tells you, do your research. If you're
Yeah.
trying to hire a drone pilot, make sure they're certified and licensed.
and insured.
Get the proof
I mean,
in
we
the
got to
pudding.
pay for insurance for this
Yep.
stuff.
I think if I remember right, even if you're not like going to be flying one commercially, I think you still have to get a license to, or maybe you just have to have it.
Well, you got to
registered.
register it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You
just
got
have
to
to have
if
the
you're
drone
gonna
registered.
if you're gonna make any kind of money or use it commercially.
Yeah.
Now, did you use custom color settings when you were flying, or what'd you do? Did you use auto?
I can't remember. I think I used manual like settings as far as like the ISO and that type of stuff. But yeah, because it was the only thing. I think the auto, works pretty good for itself, but it seemed like it would.
It's never the best way.
Yeah,
to
it seemed
do
like it would underexpose it a little bit, especially if the sky was
Yeah.
particularly bright.
Like mine was very like dull out when I was filming, and like
Right.
I messed up, because I was using, it was like overcast. I was using auto,
Right.
So my shots, and I kind of said this to you, my shots were like different,
Yeah.
And then we have to try to correct it in post, which is frustrating. But these look like these ones. You got a nice blue sky, so it's probably a little bit easier to get that vibrant color. So that was the bean harvesting. And then they started the drain installation, and this was man, it was interesting to watch. I was out there for this one, right? I think
Yeah.
I went and did this one. And what's going on here is, so they have this giant semi pulls up right here, and these huge rolls of drainage tubing, I guess you could call it, are on this thing, and they're just rolling these things off of here, and they are giant. Let's get a little bit closer shot here so you can get I mean, you can see on that truck how big they are. There's only fits 6 of them, I think, and that's a really long
I think they're as tall as like some
trailer
guys,
on there too. There you go.
They're taller than them.
Huge rolls of these things, man. I wonder how many feet are in a roll.
Yeah. It looked like they used one roll and it pretty much went almost the entire length of the field. So I mean I don't know how long that would be, but
Yeah.
it's a lot.
And you can see there's some are thicker. Some of the tubing is
Right.
thicker, and some of
on
it's
the
thinner. Because what is it, Josh? The main.
So they have smaller tubing, which is why there's more of that runs over the majority of the field.
And it connects to the
that
larger,
goes into
and
the
that connects to the larger.
Yep, and then it goes into an even larger, and then that drains off into a water area near the fields.
And what a job doing this, a job where it's like so dependent on weather and like being out in these fields and stuff. Watch this dude click this thing. This is awesome. Look, he pushes it to get it straight. He already dropped the other one. Then he goes on there, clicks it, ready to go. He like used it to just push it straight. He's like, all right, let me get this perfectly even.
I struggled to change the razor blade on my shaver last week. I was pretty
I was
pissed
having
off.
that problem
I was
the other
like,
morning.
What is
I was
going
like, does
on
this
with
one
this?
fit?
I don't think this works right at all.
But like they're digging the trench here. So I guess I could back this up a little bit. But yeah, they're digging out a trench. And then the other guys are going along and dropping these the larger tubes. This is one of the main lines. And look, he just connected the other one. Did you see that? Oh, no, he moved
just
it.
picked it up to get it out of the way.
Yeah. Look at that, man.
This guy's got to be great at the crane machine games.
Yeah. What the
Always
heck?
walking out with prizes. Full on
So
stuffed
cool.
ducks every week.
It's like, it seems like it should be such a complicated thing, and it probably is more complicated than it
yeah.
looks. But it, like, at the same time, it's like kind of basic.
Well, that's the beauty behind being really, really good at something. While I watch you fly a drone, I think
Right.
that's super easy. I could totally do that.
You've
And then
done
you
it
put the
100
controller in my
times,
hands and like,
yeah.
wow, this is really more complicated than I thought. I bet this is the
Where's
same thing.
I think this is one of the shots. Oh my God, I wanted to fly through this tube so bad. I was wishing I had the FPV drone. I just wanted to fly through there, and I was like, yeah, I don't think it's going to fit through there. But see, they would go out and they'd drop these one. See, there was one I messed up. I did the movement. You know what I mean? I was unsure how close I was to those tubes, so I backed off of it. That's kind of like what we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Going again.
Take two.
But I was trying to show, on the shot, I was trying to show, like, all right, here they have these piles of tubes. And then as we fly, you're going to see them, like, laying them out. And then as you get closer, you're going to see them putting them in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, here they are laying them out, flying along that, which is cool. Imagine flying through that line right there. If you could, like, weave in and out of those, that'd be awesome. And then you come up on them, and they're installing them. And then this other machine here, this black, green, whatever that is, that's digging that. That's putting the first, like, strip, right? Was it cutting it out? Or was that the one that was installing them?
I think here they're just using it to kind of,
Cut a line.
start the ditch a little bit, and then later they actually are able to put the tubing
Yeah,
in
it
there.
looks like
and
they're
it'll-
dragging the line so the person can see where to dig. Make sure it
Yeah.
stays in a straight row.
And then here you could see they're going to have to go all the way down this thing, which is crazy. You know what I was amazed by at the end of this is how perfect they were laid out,
Right.
like the grid. And then also think about like the let's see here. Like think about like getting the slope right.
Oh, right.
Because
yeah.
the water has to flow.
Sure.
So somehow they're gauging like the depth of the trench as they're digging it, which seems like it would be so hard to like do. But like look how perfect that grid is. So the like we were talking about earlier, the smaller ones are all through here, which lead to bigger ones on the edges and through the middle. Look at that. How freaking cool is that, man?
It's amazing.
It was all foggy out there. I was like, man, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but they were trying to get it done. But you can't even see, but it goes way out there. And they said it was all basically, it's all like GPS.
Yep.
Like it just lays it all out and probably keeps them in a line.
Yep, precision GPS.
That's so cool, though. Look at that.
I wonder if there's if with some people that do this, if they actually use drones to be able to just go up in the air,
Map it.
and kind of map it out and see how far apart they need to be, and everything like that.
There might be an industry standard, like you need to be so many
Right.
feet away, so no matter what
They definitely
field looks
have
like.
to do some sort of mapping.
Well, sure.
I'm
yeah.
sure, but with like things like Google Earth and stuff like
Right.
that, I'm sure it makes it way easier. I think I'm circling around this field in this, but yeah, man, that was so crazy. I couldn't believe it. You know what I do want to grab is when they were, well, just to kind of before we exit this folder. So all of that stuff connects and then comes to here. All of the water from those fields. This is me trying to get my shot right.
And it's actually across the street, like
Yeah,
kinda
a whole
diagonal
farm
to it?
away.
Yeah.
I do one shot where I fly from the field all the way over here to show it. Brendan used it in the thing. Ryan, just let me know if you have to steal this mouse for some reason. So, yeah, and then into this little pond. And this pond's not even like, it's not even on their property. It's somebody else's pond. It just seems bizarre and multiple farms are draining into this.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird. Where's that one shot I did flying across the whole thing? There's the whole field. Like, that's so crazy.
Yeah, I think I ended up speed ramping it because it took like a couple minutes to get all the way over there.
Yeah, it took forever. This is it. So here's the field. You see here. And then you come across, and now this is somebody else's farm who I think has already been tiled.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard from the people.
And then as you come across here, boom, you see right there is where the water's coming out, and then into this pond. Fly through the pond. This was a fun little shot to try to get right here because I was like trying to race down the water.
Going right under those power lines.
Yeah, trying to race down the water and follow it around.
So how far for this shot were you still back at the farm too?
No, I was in the middle so I could see
gotcha.
the drone
Okay.
both ways.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be like really far away if you were still.
No, yeah, you got to stay within line of sight. And then they have like a little break right here, which is interesting, like a little ditch to flow into this one. That's right next to it. I think that's a pig farm. Can you imagine being right next to that? Smelling that shit all the time.
Literal.
Yeah. Which one was it? Which one did you do and did I do? Was it this one? I think this was the one.
I think you did this one, and then I was there for the lead. Yeah, the lead drainage installation was the one that I was there for.
There was one that was like, I think it was this one. Yeah, so that is that machine. So that machine does put this stuff down, which is crazy. Like, they have a whole machine built to install this tubing.
Right.
Like, isn't that weird? Like, it's funny the things that people like make to like make money off of. Like, I had no idea this was a job.
Well, and the crazy thing is, field tiling in itself isn't even something that's new within the last few centuries. Like, they've been doing this for years and years and years, hundreds of years. But the technology is the thing that keeps improving. The general idea and concept has always been the same. So like, yeah, it's
how the frick is that putting that in there?
Yep.
It's just like digging it and dropping it, digging it and dropping it. I flew along next to him for a minute. I wasn't even sure if he knew I was there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this guy's going to get freaked out. I'm going to fly the drone by him. But yeah, just cruising along. And then fly up. Man, there was one shot I did that I really liked from this.
While you're looking through that, how long do you think it took that machine to go from one end of the field to the other?
I mean, it's moving pretty fast.
Is it?
I mean, look how quick it's moving.
I feel like it was only a couple minutes.
Really, just a few minutes from end to end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like 15 or something.
Well,
if even. I mean, it's moving pretty good. This shot, I love this. Came down, and then you see it from above, but then you look back and you're like, holy shit, this thing is dragging lines.
Yeah, I used that one in the video because that was a really cool shot.
Now, are these spools both connected as one thing, or do they have to stop and then refeed it?
He did it. So this was his son. He was gone that day for some reason. So his son did it a little bit different than I guess he usually does. He drug the spool out instead of running it off the spools on the machine. I'm not sure why.
Okay. So what we're seeing here,
he already drug that out.
Okay,
Instead
so the spool's just sitting there to hold it.
Yeah,
it's not even coming off.
But typically it does. Okay. Yeah, I think when you filmed it was coming off of
Interesting.
But yeah, it was only like 3 people doing this whole thing.
Out there.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, geez, this is crazy.
Well, that's what happens. You get the machinery.
The right tools, man.
Yep.
Right tools for the job. Were there any specific shots that like you would want to mention or bring up that you thought were like super cool you got?
I can't think of any in particular. Yeah, maybe go into the lead drainage installation.
Was this the lead drainage? Was that the big part?
This was like a bigger tube, but I think they still use that machine to
same type of situation.
to put it into the ground.
Oh, they got the big rolls out here. So yeah, this was midway through. It looks like this is the middle. Is that the? Oh no, that's the road.
That's the road, yeah.
So they had to move all of these rolls off to the side. All those rolls that were just spread out everywhere. That's crazy. Probably just picked them up with the big excavator.
But now you know.
Over.
While you're driving through central Illinois or any Midwestern farmland, if you see those big black rolls, they're getting their field tiled.
Yeah, that's probably what's happening. Oh, look, there it is right there. Look, see it's going into this
wow.
like, tube or something.
Yeah, and that's an even thicker pipe than the one that was in the last.
So is this more traditionally how it works? Is that one team or one vehicle drives ahead and then he would start to move to kind of pace with the other and feed the piping down?
I have no idea, man. I thought that it just came straight off of here, but this is looking similar to what
he had done
I
before.
saw before, right. Yeah. But isn't that weird? Look, the tube just feeds through there.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, all right, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to create this big tractor thing that feeds a tube. We got to figure this shit out. Like, this is some crazy engineering, you know what I mean? Like, you think a drone is, like, crazy engineering, but then you see some shit like this, and it's like, what the hell? This is what they built to do this? Look, he's connecting another one to continue the feed. Interesting. Look at him standing across the ditch, too. That's so weird. It's just feeding it in through here. I don't know why. It just amazes me. I guess it's just stuff you don't know.
And the fact that like that's literally specifically what it's made to do.
Yeah, it doesn't
really
do
have
anything
another
else.
purpose.
This is it.
Do you think you don't think there's any, do you think there's anything else they do with it?
Yeah,
like
I mean,
different
I don't
know. The
be
excavator has
attachment,
different
maybe.
attachments.
Sure.
So I wonder if there is any other purposes for this thing.
Well, I mean, by that logic, then I mean it's all just a treaded vehicle. You could probably put other stuff on
It looks
assuming
though.
that
I've
it comes
never
off.
seen a vehicle like that.
Right.
So I mean, maybe that is it. Again, just kind of wow, following the tube rolled out. So I wonder when they say one thing I didn't ask him when I was talking to him on the phone, like when they say it's all like GPS or whatever. I wonder if the vehicle is on GPS itself.
So it's like kind of auto driving, so you can tell.
Like you get it to the spot and then you set it all up and you just hit go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now they have like combines and stuff that the farmer just sits in there and it auto drives.
Yeah. Which
is crazy. Tesla start making some. You don't even do anything. They're just out there
all
farming.
electric combines.
I mean, eventually, right? So yeah, we were doing that for Hewitt Farms, and then the actual company that was doing it reached out and was like, "Hey, we want to make a video also. You want to go ahead and play that one?" So this was that video, and this was from another job also. Didn't we go to another job too?
Yeah,
a second one.
Yeah, there were two.
So they were doing it somewhere else. So this is footage mixed from the two jobs to create this little promo video for the company. Well, that was awesome, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's fun having something different like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? Mixed in there with the day to day. You did a good job editing those. It's neat.
Yeah, I had fun doing it. I think I think I kind of said it earlier, but it's just like a different perspective than what you're normally used to. Just making normal videos, and it's kind of interesting to think about how to piece together the different clips that you have.
Completely different.
right? In a way that would I mean, all of it looks epic. Anything really that you film on a drone is gonna just look cool. But it really makes it look even better whenever you have it all edited together and with the music and everything. So.
Mm-hmm. Just makes it feel like a
Right.
like an epic shoot. I'll tell you what I remember. The first shot I ever got with my first drone, it was the first like good shot that wasn't like at my house or just
Right.
something basic. I took it. It was the Phantom. I can't remember if it was 3 or 4. I think it was 3. And I took it down south on my birthday with my now wife.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to where was Superman from? Metropolis?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Metropolis down
Yeah, I've
south,
been
where
there.
where like a hole in cave is or
Right.
whatever it's called. So we were at the casino down there, and right next to the casino is a bridge. I think it's a train bridge. I don't think a car goes on it. And I wish I had the shot. I used to use it on our first website. It was
Nice.
our opening shot on the website. But the sun was setting, and it was like beautiful, like it was reflecting on the water, and there's this bridge, and I'm just flying out towards it. And I really wanted to fly out and go under it, but I was not confident at all. And I was over water, so it was like freaking me out. But yeah, it was just that shot I got, and I was just like, this is going to be so awesome. We're going to be able to do so much cool stuff with this forever.
Yeah.
Little did I know they were going to get so small and so much higher quality and shit. Yeah, we didn't even pull up the test footage from the other drone, the
mini drone.
What is it? The Mini 3 Pro?
I think so.
I think that's what it is.
I've used it a
We'll have
couple.
to talk about that another time, but that one's cool because it can film vertical.
Yeah, I've used it a couple times for the dealerships mostly that we do. So
Do you film vertical when you do it usually?
I've done it a couple times, and the only thing I don't like about it is it then it kind of locks you in to a certain
Yeah, you don't
you're
got
not
the
able
flexibility.
you're not able to move it around as much. It's still 4K video, so you can like zoom in on it and stuff like that. But it's definitely it helps for I think for people I guess like us, but people that do stuff on social media because it's
Vertical.
right. Yeah.
I saw somebody wearing a Chris Howe. He's a YouTuber. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He was wearing was it a shirt or a hat? But it said "Make video wide again" or "Make video horizontal again"
Right.
or something. It's like because everyone's filming vertical now
now,
and everything's going vertical. It is tough though. Like filming vertical is a tough thing. You just don't get the
You
like.
can't. No.
It doesn't give you the
Right.
perspective of
Right.
like feeling where you are.
Yeah.
It's more focused on the person. You know what I mean? But well, we'll have to save reviewing that drone another time.
And before we wrap up, I want to say that there was a unique feeling that I got from these two jobs because even when we're running ads on social media, at some point those ads lose relevance. The posts and the content that we make, they will eventually time out or lose relevance. But the family at Hewitt Farms is planning on using this video for years to come. And I know that Hinch is kind of making it like their brand video. So they're going to be relying on these things that we've done, and we're now like a part of their history almost.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, like to
Especially
immortalize
if they're
it.
like grandkids or whatever
Yeah.
at the farm. They're like, look what my grandpa
Yeah.
did,
And OOT Box Media obviously will be one of the biggest media companies in the world by the time the grandkids
And they're
come
like,
around.
oh, that was when
they'll
they
be
were
like,
small.
wow, that's so crazy that these guys did that. How'd you afford that, Grandpa? That's nuts.
No, that is interesting. That's how I always felt about wedding videos.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're like, this is like you're part of their fucking rest of their lives.
Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely a departure from the kind of one-off, quick, digestible stuff that we
Yeah.
always do.
Well, I think that was fun. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Again, Creative Convo is what we're going with. If you got suggestions, let us know. Brendan, Josh, good job on this job, and it was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys had fun too.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, thanks everybody, and be sure to hit that subscribe because we're going to start posting a lot more. We're going to do more of these Creative Convos. We got a lot of exciting guests coming up. A lot of surprises. So thanks a lot for watching.